Hey everyone, so real quick, I recently became a partner in the content creator program. So if you want to support me, I'll leave this link below. You go down to the search bar and you type in ZEP YT, ZEP YouTube, and click the support button. If you do this, if I get to 30 supporters, I'll be able to give out codes to my supporters. And I also get a small percentage back of what you guys spend in game for points to use in the game to be a little more inefficient with my time and energy to get you more valuable content. So if you want to do that, I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, back to the video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another King Arthur Legends Rise video. So I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, guys. I know I did. Lots of time with family, which is always great. And I hope the same went for you. But anyway, we're making some new videos here today for you. Today, we're going to be discussing this new hero, which was part of the new patch that came out. There's a lot of really great things in here. They're increasing our stamina, the way that we can get stamina. They also have like a new shop where you can get relics. Really awesome stuff. But today's video is about Vivian, the new character. I actually pulled a copy so we can show her in here without any kind of chivalries. And yeah, let's kind of discuss if she's worth pulling for. So her first passive, Holy Water's Blessing, says when using a recovery skill, she has 100% chance to grant every Steed's Favor ally attack speed increase 1 for 2 turns. You can skill this down to 3 turns, and you can increase the attack speed increase to 3 turns. So this is a good skill. It's rather limited. However, the heroes that it actually affects are pretty good. They're solid heroes like Merlin. Merlin's great. Anguish, very good in Gorgos, and Cormac. These are your main heroes that you're going to be using. Lancelot as well, if you have him. Great DOT hero. So that first passive does affect some viable heroes. Her second passive, this one's awesome. So when using skill 3, 100% chance to reduce all passive cooldowns of each ally that has a recovery over time buff by 1 turn. This is crazy. This is a great skill. She does have a chivalry that changes this to saying when using skill 3, it says when using a skill. So that's when it becomes really good. We'll talk about the chivalry stuff here in a second. But independently, this is a good skill. However, it's a good passive. However, you're going to need to manual her to really get the most out of this, which is why the chivalry is kind of important for auto. But still, it's a very good skill. Reducing cooldowns of all of your allies, if they have this buff, is huge. We've seen this in other games, or at least I have, and these skills end up being just absolutely broken. And you can reduce that to a 2-turn cooldown. And then she has her third passive that when an ally's hit, she counterattacks, 100% chance, and you can actually skill this down to 2 turns as well. And that's going to be with her basic skill. So very, very strong. Really good passives. This first one is good, but it's limited. The second one, bonkers, especially if you can get the chivalry for her. And then this is just a good general, standard counterattack hit. So she comes with her fire relic. Her basic skill is a 60% chance to inflict burn. So she has damage over time with healing, which is really nice. So 100% chance to heal the ally with the lowest HP based on a certain percentage. Very nice. It can also book up to a 80% burn rate chance. Her second skill is fantastic. 100% chance to heal each ally for a certain percentage of her HP. And then she has a 100% chance to convert all DOTs to recovery over time. So this plays into her passive. The nice thing about this skill is it converts every single DOT. I was a little worried that this would be just like one DOT, but it's not. It's all of them. So if they have 3-4 DOTs, when she uses this, she will convert all of those into recovery over time. So they'll have like 4 recovery over times, which is really nice. Yeah, this skill is fantastic. And then her third skill is attacks all enemies. It inflicts burn, 80% chance on all of them, and she heals for 11% of her max HP. This is a very good skill. However, it does not have any effect on recovery over time. anything like that that plays into her second passive that reduces skill cooldowns, right? And that's what you really want. But these skills in general are actually really good. So her skills are good, her passives are good. My issue with Vivian is like damage over time and things like that are really limited in this game so far. Gorgos is the only dungeon where this truly shines. I think DOT is a little underrated. You can use it in other areas of the game. There's plenty of content out there that showcase damage over time heroes clearing dungeons that they shouldn't, but it goes, a little bit under the radar. So that's kind of just my issue with her is the damage over time stuff, like I said, is just, it's very, very niche. So I don't know if she's a must pull for people. However, she is strong in the thing that she does. And the second passive, I think, is just really good. So her chivalries. Her first one is when she uses skill 1, she has a 100% chance to grant an ally with the lowest HP a barrier, which blocks attacks for 2 turns. So it's a 2-hit barrier, which is very, very strong. This is a 3-turn cooldown. A couple things to think about here is when she uses her skill 1, she has the ability to use her skill 1 on counterattacks. And you might just want her for the heals and for her burn. You might not be using her second ability, which is the converting DOTs to damage over time. Like if you pair her with the Jarrett, the uncommon that also removes damage over time stuff and boosts your attack gauge, you might just use her for the damage over time and heals. And then also this barrier. This is also a form of protection. This is important in some of the equipment dungeons. So it's a good Chivalry 1. Her Chivalry 2 is more recovery, which is always nice. This is the Chivalry that I think matters. This is that skill enhancement where the condition changes to when using a skill. That's this one. So instead of using skill 3, anytime she uses a skill, she will be reducing cooldowns of the allies that have recovery over time. This is the really good one. Her fourth one is HP percentage, fifth is HP, sixth is HP, seventh is attack and defense. And then her Chivalry 8 is when attacking, she has a 100% chance to grant Winding Waves and defense increase 1 to each ally for 2 turns. So this Winding Waves, considered DOT, I don't know what this is. This is confusing to me. Considered DOT. So I don't know if this makes everyone be able to do DOTs or their damage is just DOT. It's odd. I'd like to see someone try this to understand it. But the important one to know is her Chivalry 3. This is the big one. I think this turns her into a really good support hero. But yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting. I think there's 1 or 2 characters that inflict DOT on themselves, so there might be some weird things there. But yeah, I don't know. Last thing that we'll mention before we take her in and showcase her skills is she does have a leader effect for Gorgos, which is effect accuracy. This is really big, especially for like stage 10. And then in the story, I don't know how important this is. I don't know many bosses that are affected by DOT there. But just the effect accuracy, I think, is a little bit hard for people to really succeed on early on. So she's probably a pretty good character for early game. The other area where I think she's going to be strong is in these clan raids. So Gorgos clan raid boss, I think she's going to be great here. Removing the DOTs, inflicting the burn, all of those things are going to be great. Reducing cooldowns, fantastic, right? Let's showcase her in Gorgos. So in stage 10, we can use her leader skill for the effect accuracy up for our Rosier and our Anguish. we'll bring in somebody like Dejaret as well. Actually, let's bring in Turin. We'll bring in Turin just because we want to showcase her second skill, which is removing the DOTs. Okay, so we have effect accuracy increased. Going to help our Anguish and Rosier, land the debuffs. So here, this is where her skill 2, she has 100% chance to convert all of these DOTs that the boss just put up on us into recovery over time. So it doesn't matter if they have 2, 10, whatever, she'll remove all of them and turn them into recovery over time. So this keeps your team so healthy. It's a crazy skill. On top of that, whenever she comes back around, like right now, Rosier, she's going to use her skill 3 and then gain Blood Frenzy for 2 turns. And then her skills will be on cooldown. So whenever we loop back around to our Vivian, same thing with Anguish here. Anguish, when he's using skill 3, if the target has dot, it puts this DOT taken increase 1. You want to have this up all the time. So he's on a 4-turn cooldown. So we activated this. The DOT dot is up for 2 turns. There was her counterattack. So now, both Rosier and Anguish have recovery over time. So if she uses her skill 3, that's whenever this passive is going to activate and reduce all of their passives by 1 turn. This is why that Chivalry 3 is so important, because if I had the Chivalry 3, I can use this skill 2, remove all of the DOTs again into recovery over time and reduce their cooldown passives. But because it's on the 3rd skill, I actually can't even activate it right now, which is the downside to Vivian not being, upgraded to that Chivalry 3. But, it is what it is. So yeah, that's her whole role, and that's kind of the thing, because she's good and she helps here, but at the same time, I don't need her. I can use someone like Turn into Jarrett instead of Vivian, where I'm removing the DOTs anyway with the Jarrett, and I'm boosting the attack gauge of all of my heroes instead of healing them with the recovery over time. So see, this didn't even pass, where if I used a Jarrett, it will. So yeah, it's an interesting scenario for her. I've passed this level many times with her. I forget what the lineup was, but she helps me do it. However, I think Dejaret makes it, a little bit better anyway. So the best way to build her, I think, is you do want some effect accuracy in her, just because you can get the burns off from her relic. In a vigor set, I think, is the most important thing as well, because you always want to be using her skill 2. So every time her turn comes around, she'll recharge 1 vigor just because of her turn, and then she'll get another one for the vigor set. I think that's what's key. Right now, she's got 40% effect accuracy. With her leader skill, it goes up to 60. And then she has that 60% chance to land the burn. You ideally want her faster. I know one of my subscribers said that my heroes are also slow, which is true. I just haven't had the time to go farm rings or anything like that. So it is what it is at this point in time. But yeah, that's kind of my take on her. I think she's okay. I think she's a good healer, good support hero. But I just don't know why you would use her over certain characters if you had them, or why she's kind of needed or necessary, unless they bring out new content, where DOTs are a big thing. The boss is landing DOTs on your team and you really need her to remove them, or what. But anyway, that's all I got, guys. Like I said, Hope you had a great holiday, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.